So I started off the code with a making a simple click. So I added a button for clicking, which is not any in the code anymore, and in JavaScript I added a function called point click, where you click for a point, um, and that basically just adds one point. It's points equals point plus number, which is one, um, and that number is there just because that's the best way I could figure out to get the HTML to work with the JavaScript. Um, I don't know how necessary it is now that the click button is not in HTML, but then there's the function for auto clicking, and I added a buy auto clicker next. Actually, so first I added just the button to buy an auto clapper, and that button activates. Where is the button actually? The button's up here. Buy an auto clapper, and it activates this function buy auto clapper, and buy auto clapper just increases the cost. Because if the cost was the same, it would be way too easy to get tons of auto clappers. And then it gives you one. It gives you one. And then after that I added power-ups, which basically auto clappers just give you a point every like few seconds, and a power-up makes it so that when you clap or get a point, it's worth more. So if you have one power up, then each clap is worth 2 points, and so on. And then this is just when you have an auto clapper every amount of time that is this interval. I don't know what unit this is measured in. It's not a lot. It's like a few seconds. It might even be just 1 second. It'll run the auto click function with the number of auto clappers you have. So it'll basically just give you points according to the number of auto clappers you have. So if you have like 2, it'll give you 2 points. If you have like 10, it'll give you 10 points. And then this is the function that constantly listens for if you're clapping, because it's it checks if it's class 2, which is the clapping, and then it gives you a point. It does the point click function, and then it sets it back to listening instead of just leaving it at class 2. And then there's also I commented out this menu feature because I tried very hard to get this pop-out menu to work, but I don't know what it was that wasn't allowing it to work, and I tried using it in a vacuum and it didn't even work then, so it might have just been REPL. I'm not completely sure. And so I realized that I could just do all of that, all of the menu stuff just in the same space. Like, I didn't really need a pop-out. I just thought it would be neat to have. So this is that. It shows total points gained, which is just your points, but if you never spent any of them. And then number of claps, which is total points gained basically, but without points from auto clappers, which is just counted every time you it's right up, they're right up here. And it's just counted every time you use either the point click function, see how total points and total claps goes up, because you can only use this function when you're clapping. And then auto click has total points but not total claps go up, because you don't clap when you're auto clicking. And lastly is just the CSS, which is just a bit of everything centered. The background's just a nice dark slate blue. I like these colors. I chose them very early on, and I'm glad I did. I think they're really nice. And I chose this the Orbitron font because I think that's fun. And I just changed the width a little bit, added some borders with some nice little styles. This one's got Rage, and this one's is Outset. And then this is all the commented out code from the menu. Yeah, so let's take a look at it. Um, so there's no clap button. So if I just there's no button to like clap or like get points. But if I just you notice my points went up. Okay, and then I can buy an auto clapper, which will just give me points automatically, and so on. And now if I fast forward to when I'm able to buy a power up. Okay, now I have 100. So if I buy a power up and then clap, notice how it adds 2 points every time I clap. But number of claps only goes up by 1 because number of claps is not affected by the power up, because that doesn't, it just counts how many times you've clapped. So yeah, that's the code. You can just keep buying auto clappers, keep buying power ups. And as much as I would like to say that this is very, very boring, it's not. Because while I was making it and there was just a clap button, so clicker games probably just entice me too much because I have a small brain. But while I was making the code and there was literally just a clap button that was not attached to anything, I clicked it for a solid 3 minutes. I didn't have a reason to, and, I don't really understand why clicker games are so fun in my mind. But they are. Yeah, I just want to see these numbers go up, and it might be a problem.